You've been told a story about the origin of money, an innocent barter system, apples for shoes, for example. So what is money, really? Is it a natural evolution of trade? Or is it a product of social engineering in a system that picks who wins and who works endlessly until they are spent? The real story of money is more complex and far more relevant to your wallet, your future, and the very fabric of society. This is Alpha Signal. Beyond the headlines, beneath the lies. The history books often present a sanitized version. The media rarely digs deep enough, and the powerful interests have every reason to keep the true nature of money obscured. Because money isn't just coins and cash. It's a system of control. A masterclass in social engineering that dictates who thrives and who struggles. Let's shatter the first myth. Money wasn't invented to solve the double coincidence of wants problem in barter. That's an oversimplified narrative. Conventional wisdom often focuses on the what, but rarely delves into the why or the how it truly functions. The truth is, money was born from debt, from the need to keep track of who owed what to whom. In ancient Sumer, thousands of years ago, these clay tablets, they weren't currency. They were IOUs, a physical record of an obligation, a promise to pay. They certainly weren't somebody's ancient diary complaining about the price of barley, how warm it was, or yearning for Sarah's hand in marriage. Fast forward to medieval Europe, and you find the same principle with tally sticks. A piece of wood notched to record a debt, then split in half. The debt itself became transferable. It was a literal, physical IOU. Even cowrie shells, used as currency, weren't valued for their intrinsic utility. Their value was a collective agreement. They were a token representing a claim on other goods and services, another IOU, backed by collective belief. As you can see, money, at its core, is a system of credit and debt. It's a powerful form of social engineering for managing each individual's obligations to society. Understanding this shifts your perspective from what I have to what I am owed, and by whom. The system and the pundits operating within the box often encourage focusing on the token and not the promise it represents. Anyway, as societies grew, these decentralized webs of personal IOUs became unwieldy. Rulers realized that if they could issue the IOUs, they could centralize power, fund armies, and control economies. A Roman coin wasn't just metal. It was an imperial IOU, a promise from the emperor that it would be accepted for taxes and trade. This wasn't just about making trade easier. It was about controlling the very fabric of economic life. Today, this power resides with central banks and governments. Your dollar, your euro, your yen, these are all fiat currencies. They are not backed by gold or silver. They are backed by the full faith and credit of the government. They are, quite literally, government-issued IOUs, promises that they will be accepted for taxes. And what ultimately backs that full faith and credit? It's the state's capacity to enforce its will, to collect taxes, and to maintain order within its borders. This is the underlying mechanism that ensures the system's function. The stark reality? Governments don't just regulate money, they create it. This power allows them to direct resources, fight wars, and influence your purchasing power. Your financial fate is tied to their ability to manage their own massive IOU, the national currency. So, if money is just an IOU, a promise, what gives it its value? It's not the paper, not the metal, not the digital bytes. It's the collective belief, the shared agreement that this particular IOU will be honored. But what about something more basic? more primitive, more valuable, like gold and silver. For centuries, these metals have been seen as the ultimate store of value, something almost instinctually precious. We're drawn to their luster, their rarity, their perceived permanence. It feels like they are money, inherently valuable. But here's the critical truth. While their physical properties are undeniable, their monetary function, their widespread acceptance as a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account, still relies on collective agreement. Even in a scenario where a government doesn't officially back them, people still have to agree to accept them as payment. That agreement, that shared belief in their value as money, is still a form of social engineering. When people trade gold, they are operating on a shared understanding and belief in its value as a claim on other goods and services. It's still an IOU, just one backed by a broader, more decentralized, but still fundamentally social consensus. When that belief in the system fades, the IOU becomes worthless, bringing about hyperinflation. The government's promise is no longer trusted, and suddenly, a wheelbarrow full of cash can't buy a loaf of bread. The illusion of inherent value shatters. When the state's capacity to enforce its will is challenged, or its power is usurped, the value of its currency can collapse into chaos. It's not just the disruption of conquest. It's the immediate, devastating loss of trust in the fundamental promises that underpin an entire economy. This is why the stability of the state is inextricably linked to the stability of its money. The system's resilience is directly tied to the power that maintains it. The power of money isn't in its material form. It's in the social engineering that convinces us to accept these promises as valuable. Those who can influence that belief, through policy, through communication, or even technological innovation, can shift vast amounts of wealth and power. Your money's value isn't inherent. It's a shared belief in the underlying IOUs. This belief is fragile, tied directly to the power that enforces it. Do not mistake the token for the trust. This is Alpha Signal. Subscribe for the reality beyond the narrative.